How's it going, guys? It's Goalazio here. Welcome back to another FIFA 21 career mode video. Today, guys, we have got a tutorial for you. So, I am, of course, I think the new Xbox has been out probably for about a week now, and I know a lot of you are starting career mode. So, and some of you might be doing your first ever career mode, you might have just started playing it. So I want to kind of give you the best starter tips for me. So this, even if you're experienced and you've played career mode loads, I want to kind of give you a few little tips to actually go, how do you master certain career mode elements, especially with a brand new career mode, because there's lots of different changes and there's some stuff which is still the same, but it's actually worth knowing about. But anyway, guys, hit that like button. Of course, if you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into my first tip. They get more and more important every single year now, your team objectives, right? So you want to kind of understand where you need to invest your money, because one of the biggest issues I've seen over the last couple of years now is the fact that you are more and more likely to get sacked. If you sign a player with a certain too high of the wage, you get sacked. If you sell a certain player, you get sacked. If you play a game and win, you get sacked. The opportunities are there for you to actually get fired. So what I'm trying to say is that if you actually understand your objectives to actually begin with, so for example, we need to reach the final 16 of the FA Cup, we need to fight for promotion, and also we need to sign 3 players younger than 20 into our squad. So we need to make sure we generally meet those objectives so we actually don't bring our target rating down and actually put us in a negative stance of actually going, right, okay, this isn't good, I'm going to get fired. So tip number 1, check out those objectives. Tip number 2 for you guys is actually something to do with your budget. So one of the biggest things I've actually done, one of the regrets I always tend to have, is actually signing so many players in my first window. I'm like, uh-oh, my team is doing rubbish come January and I have 0 budget. What you can, of course, potentially do is sell players to come January, but you might still not sell them. Then come to the end of January, you're scraping your head and you don't have any players in your shortlist because you haven't got any budget. So always, recommendation, rule of thumb, no matter what the budget is, leave around 20%. Right, 20% you usually do you good, whether you want to loan a player in or actually sign a player physically. I'm just thinking this is more down the front of actually, even for example, we have got Newport County, the League 2 side. If I leave 20% right now, we're actually going to be around 250, something like that, which is actually a bit more than that. It's 300 grand. So we got around 300 grand to actually spend. Signing a 300 grand player in a League 2 side is probably really beneficial. That gives me opportunity to loan players in if I want, or even invest in my youth side of things. Depends how I want to look at things. So, without a doubt, save 20% of your budget. And let's get into youth quickly. Youth Academy is changing, which is brilliant. I am super, super excited. Here's one of them, actually. One of the key players that we are standing out with today from the homegrown talent feature that we do have. But your Youth Academy is really big aspect for you. It's a really good opportunity for you to actually really start a tip for you. It's so you can actually money spin it. That's the kind of way I see it. So with the Youth Academy, you have 2 options. You either really invest in it and start it off and get players coming into your side, growing them quickly, loan them out, get them growing, training them as much as you possibly can. And then actually go in, right, okay, turn that into a side. Or you actually sign these players, perfect for like a championship side. You sign these players, sell them on, make some decent money. So for example, Valino, how much is he actually worth? Let's have a quick look. He doesn't actually say. If we promoted him to the senior side, he'd probably be worth a decent amount. If we actually grow him a little bit, get him to around that 60 plus rated, it'd be worth maybe a couple of £1,000,000. So that's an opportunity for you. So you can either really invest in your Youth Academy and actually go, right, I want these players to start for me. Highly recommended if you are League 2 sides. Because, for example, Rossietta, Reese maybe not so much, Vino, a couple of these players can actually jump straight into my starting 11, which is absolutely incredible. So that's kind of what you want. You got yourself some free players. So take that in consideration. So I briefly mentioned about training sessions just a couple of moments ago. So training sessions are quite important this year. Of course, you need to really manage this correctly because that actually affects your match sharpness now a lot more. And obviously that's completely brand new. We haven't actually seen that this year in over past FIFAs. So managing your actual training is vitally important. I have mentioned in the past, guys, I will do a live stream to answer any questions regarding the training system. We will schedule that in very soon. It's just I want to kind of scrub up all my knowledge on it as much as possibly can before I actually do it for you guys. So we'll figure that out in a few months' time. But your training is super important. You want to kind of manage this correctly. So of course, it's simple as that. You can actually develop and all that. This is the development stage. But if we actually just go to our weekly schedule for a moment, you want to actually manage this correctly. You want to go, right, okay, when am I playing? When do I need rest days? How can I look at this? So let's go to the calendar. You see here, we're not actually having any game sessions right now. So I can actually just change the rules and go, you know what? I just want training days constantly, right? Let's just only training, because I have got no games whatsoever. So I can just focus on that. However, we go to next month, then we're going to be having a slight bit of issue. So of course, we can't really do training every single week because we've got game time. So make sure you manage this correctly. So you want to think, okay, let's actually change the rules a little bit. I want to do a lot of actually, before match, I want a rest day. After match, I'm going to have a recovery day and weekly plan. For the week before, I just want to rest them. Okay? So that's the changes that we've made, which is a really good thing for you to really look at generally. So make sure you manage that correctly. Just so you know, you can actually change this on a daily basis. You can change this on a weekly basis. It's entirely up to you. So really look into the future with your training sessions. So for example, here now, like I mentioned, I would have just easily just changed this to only training. Okay? But once we get to the week 26, for example, week commencing the 26th, I personally would have rest day. I would let my players rest and recover before the game on the 1st. So make sure you manage your training correctly, because if you have good match sharpness, you can actually have better games, and also you can actually grow your players better if you're training enough. Now into one of my bigger tips, which I always recommend of actually starting a career mode. So let's just skip all past this a minute. I'm on PC, just so you know, guys. I've just bought it on PC. I thought I'll get it on PC because I enjoy playing it on here. But so when you look at your side, a couple of points with transfer wise, I'm going to do 2 birds, 1 stone right now. Get rid of your weak links. Of course, if you have the depth, so use as a rule of thumb, you got the depth, consider selling a few players to actually bring in new ones. But your main objective with actually signing new players is that you want to consider sorting out the middle. So sort out your middle with actually your starting 11 that you have first. Pick the formation you want to go. Figure out, okay, I want to work to this formation for this season. And then go, right, okay, who's actually good for this side? For example, Townsend, he's a decent goalkeeper, but I prefer King. So let's put King in there. We don't need to sign him. He has a little bit of potential. Let's have Abraham, for example. He's a good striker. Don't need to improve him. But we need to improve Sheehan, for example. Part of the WoW squad, just so you know. So we need to improve him, for example. So what we'll do now is actually go, right, okay, the middle, let's actually sign players there. Let's get a good defender, let's get a good striker, a good midfielder, and a good goalkeeper. So if you've got a lot of that in your side already, perfect. If you haven't, make sure you sign those players there. If you have a lot of players really good down the middle to actually begin with, then you can actually sign players like on the wings and stuff like that. But I always recommend highly sorting out the spine to your side. But anyway, guys, they were some of the best starter tips for you beginning your career modes. One of the reasons I want to just share this with you, because there's a lot of opportunity that I'm thinking, oh, you know what, there's some little bits of advice which I think you should definitely consider when starting career mode. Whether you're experienced or whether you're brand new, you could be halfway through your save right now, and this would work perfectly for you. So make sure you use these tips. Let me know in the comment section below if there's any tips that you guys have that you think, Dan, you need to know this. Let us know in the comment section right now. But anyway, make sure you hit that like button. Of course, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. But my name is Goalazio, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Jack it up.